Welcome to Rare X Coins YouTube channel, where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary treasures. Today you're going to discover $6 First time the year 1965 stands like a thunderclap in the history of United States coinage, a single moment when everything changed forever. For decades before it, American quarters were made of real silver, carrying both face value and intrinsic wealth in their metal. Then suddenly in 1965, silver vanished from circulation quarters, replaced by a copper-nickel clad composition. This shift created confusion, fascination, and decades of myths. The 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark became a symbol of that transition, and today it is one of the most talked about coins in American history, especially among collectors who believe hidden fortunes still exist in ordinary-looking change. At first glance, a 1965 quarter looks common, even boring, especially when it is very dirty, worn, or damaged. Millions of people have spent such coins without a second thought, yet this is exactly why the coin captures attention. The absence of a mint mark does not mean it is rare by default, but it places the coin directly into the first year of clad production, when mistakes, experiments, and transitional errors quietly slipped into circulation. This is where reality becomes more powerful than rumor, because genuine rarity is not about appearance, but about what lies beneath the surface. Many people are told that any dirty 1965 quarter could be worth millions overnight. That belief spreads fast because it feeds hope. The truth is more complex and far more interesting. A standard 1965 quarter in circulated condition is not rare. However, certain extraordinary versions of this coin do exist, and those are the pieces that command life-changing prices. These include rare error strikes, transitional planchets, and quarters accidentally struck on silver blanks meant for 1964 coins. These are not myths, they are documented realities in numismatic history. One of the most valuable forms of the 1965 Washington quarter is the silver transitional error. In early 1965, a small number of quarters were struck on leftover 90% silver planchets instead of the new clad metal. These coins look almost identical to regular quarters, especially when dirty, but their weight, sound, and edge reveal a different story. When authenticated, such coins have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and in exceptional cases, even higher. Their value does not come from hype, but from their position at the exact crossroads of American monetary history. Condition plays a strange role in this story. A very dirty coin is usually worth less, but dirt can also hide important details. Scratches, discoloration, and grime can mask errors that only professionals can identify. Some of the most valuable error coins ever discovered were found in terrible condition, rescued from jars, drawers, and old pockets. This is why experts warn against cleaning coins. Cleaning destroys originality, and originality is what collectors pay for. A dirty coin can still be priceless. A cleaned coin often loses its soul. The imagination loves the idea of becoming rich overnight, and coins are perfect vehicles for that dream. They are small, silent, and passed from hand to hand without suspicion. The 1965 quarter embodies this dream because it looks ordinary while hiding extraordinary possibilities. But real fortune does not come from believing every coin is worth millions. It comes from understanding which coins are truly different and why. Knowledge is the real treasure, not blind hope. Collectors and dealers focus on measurable facts: weight, metal composition, strike quality, and minting errors. A genuine silver 1965 quarter weighs more than a clad one and produces a distinct ringing sound when gently tapped. Advanced testing confirms composition without damage. When such a coin is verified by a professional grading service, its value becomes real, documented, and trusted by the market. Without authentication, even a rare coin remains just a rumor. Stories of million-dollar quarters often mix truth with exaggeration. While it is true that some US coins have sold for millions, those prices belong to historically unique pieces with confirmed rarity and elite provenance. No coin becomes a fortune simply because someone believes in it. The market rewards scarcity, demand, and authenticity. A 1965 quarter can be valuable, even extremely valuable, but only if it meets strict criteria proven by experts. The power of this coin lies not in fantasy, but in its role as a reminder. It reminds us that history can hide in plain sight. It reminds us that massive change can occur quietly, without announcement. And it reminds us that value is not always visible. The 1965 quarter marks the end of silver circulation and the beginning of modern coinage, making it emotionally powerful to collectors who chase history, not just money. If you truly believe you possess something special, patience is essential. Rushing to sell, cleaning the coin, or trusting unverified online claims can destroy potential value. Serious collectors move slowly, consult professionals, and demand evidence. Fortune does not favor haste, it favors understanding. Many people lose money chasing dreams, while a few gain wealth by respecting facts. In the end, the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark is not a magic key that turns everyone into a billionaire overnight. It is something more meaningful. It is a test of knowledge versus illusion. It separates serious collectors from dreamers. It proves that real value is earned through study, caution, and truth. And for the rare individual who truly holds an authenticated era or silver transitional piece, it can indeed change a life, not through fantasy, but through history itself. The greatest power of this coin is not what it promises, but what it teaches. That in a world obsessed with instant riches, true fortune still belongs to those who look deeper, think longer, and respect reality. That is the real legacy of the 1965 Washington Quarter. Next time, the 1968 Washington Quarter without a mint mark carries a quiet authority that many people overlook. At first glance, it may appear ordinary, especially when it is worn, darkened by time, or covered in decades of dirt and circulation scars. But coins like this are not judged only by beauty. They are judged by history, survival, and the hidden stories locked inside their metal. A dirty condition does not erase importance. Sometimes it enhances it, because untouched coins often carry secrets that cleaned coins never will. The year 1968 stands at a turning point in American coinage history. It was a time when silver had just disappeared from circulating quarters, and the US Mint was adjusting to a new era of copper-nickel coins. A quarter from this year without a mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, the heart of American coin production. Millions were made, yes, but not all were made equal, and not all survived the same way. Collectors do not chase common coins, they chase exceptions. A 1968 quarter in rough condition may seem worthless to an untrained eye, but serious collectors look deeper. They examine weight, edges, metal composition, strike quality, and microscopic errors. Coins that escape the mint with mistakes, wrong planchets, doubled details, off-center strikes, or transitional metal errors are the true sleepers of the coin world. These are the coins that rewrite value charts overnight. What gives a coin the power to change a fortune is not its date alone, but what went wrong when it was born. Some 1968 quarters are known to have been struck on incorrect metal blanks, including rare silver planchets or experimental alloys. Others show dramatic minting errors that were never meant to leave the facility. These coins were never advertised, never documented publicly at the time, and that mystery is what fuels extreme demand today. A very dirty coin should never be cleaned. Dirt can hide proof of authenticity, original surfaces, and microscopic details that experts rely on. Cleaning destroys value instantly and permanently. Many of the highest-priced coins ever sold looked ugly before experts examined them. What matters is originality, not shine. In the coin world, untouched is power. Stories of million-dollar coins do not come from fantasy. They come from rarity proven by expert certification. When a coin is authenticated by professional graders, and when it is confirmed to be a rare error or an impossible survival, its value no longer follows normal rules. At that level, coins are not currency anymore. They become historical artifacts chased by elite collectors, museums, and investors. However, it is important to understand the truth behind the legend. Not every 1968 no-mint mark quarter is worth millions. Most are worth face value. The difference between a common coin and a life-changing coin lies in verification. The moment a coin is confirmed as a genuine mint error or a unique survivor, it enters a completely different universe of value. This is why patience is everything. Coins that change lives are not sold at flea markets for quick cash. They are studied, weighed, magnified, and certified. A rushed decision can destroy a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The smartest collectors move slowly, quietly, and with respect for the process. The market for ultra-rare US coins is not emotional, it is strategic. Prices are driven by auctions, private sales, and competition among collectors who already own the best of the best. When a new discovery enters that world, demand can explode. That is how ordinary-looking coins suddenly appear in headlines with unimaginable price tags. A dirty 1968 quarter without a mint mark should be treated like a locked safe. You do not smash it open, you find the right key. That key is professional evaluation. Until then, its true identity remains unknown. Many fortunes were lost by people who underestimated what they held. Many fortunes were made by people who waited. Coins do not promise overnight wealth, but rare ones reward knowledge and patience. The power of this quarter is not guaranteed, it is potential. Potential is what separates collectors from spenders. History favors those who respect it. In the end, this coin is a reminder that value is not always visible. Sometimes it hides under dirt, silence, and doubt. Whether this quarter is ordinary or extraordinary can only be decided by truth, not hype. And in the coin world, truth is the most valuable metal of all. Next time, the 1970 D Washington Quarter is a coin that often creates excitement because the year sounds old. The Denver D mint mark feels special, and many examples today are found in very dirty, circulated condition. When people first hold this coin, They imagine hidden wealth locked beneath years of grime, believing the dirt itself might be a sign of rarity. This emotional reaction is natural, because coins connect us to history, to money, and to the dream that something ordinary might secretly be extraordinary. In reality, the 1970 D Washington quarter was produced in very large numbers, and millions of these coins entered everyday circulation across the United States. Most of them were used heavily, which is why so many surviving pieces appear worn, dark, scratched, or stained today. Dirt does not increase value in coin collecting. Instead, it usually lowers it. Collectors seek originality and condition, not neglect, and a very dirty quarter is generally worth only slightly more than its face value. This is where many myths begin. On social media and video platforms, stories spread claiming that any 1970 D quarter can be worth millions of dollars and can make someone a billionaire overnight. These stories are powerful, emotional, and exciting, but they are not true. No normal, circulated 1970 D Washington quarter has ever sold for millions. Believing this myth causes people to lose money, time, and trust. However, that does not mean the coin has no potential at all. The true value of a Washington quarter from this era comes from very specific and extremely rare errors, not from the date or mint mark alone. Coins that are struck on the wrong metal, coins with major minting mistakes, or coins with dramatic and verifiable errors can be valuable, sometimes very valuable, but these are exceptions, not the rule. One example collectors search for is a quarter struck on the wrong planchet, such as one intended for another denomination. If a genuine 1970 D quarter was struck on a silver or foreign planchet and authenticated by experts, its value could rise significantly. Even then, we are talking about thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in extreme cases, not billions, and not overnight miracles. Another area of interest is major mint errors like double strikes, off-center strikes, or broad strikes that are clearly visible without imagination. These errors must be dramatic, professionally verified, and confirmed by reputable grading services. Without expert authentication, a coin remains just a normal quarter, no matter how unusual it appears to its owner. Condition also plays a powerful role. A high-grade, uncirculated 1970 D quarter, preserved with sharp details and original mint luster, is worth far more than a dirty one. Collectors pay premiums for beauty, clarity, and preservation. Dirt hides detail, damages surfaces, and removes confidence, which is why cleaning a coin improperly can destroy value instead of creating it. The idea that dirt itself signals hidden wealth is one of the most dangerous myths in coin collecting. Dirt does not protect value, it masks it. Professionals prefer coins exactly as they left the mint or with natural, even wear. A coin that has survived untouched in excellent condition for decades is far rarer than one that survived through heavy use. The real fortune-changing power of this coin lies not in fantasy pricing, but in education and honesty. Understanding what makes a coin valuable prevents scams and disappointment. Many people spend money chasing a miracle coin, while experienced collectors quietly build wealth through knowledge, patience, and verified rarity. If someone truly believes their 1970 D Washington quarter is special, the correct path is not to sell it cheaply, but also not to believe unrealistic claims. The correct path is expert evaluation, professional grading, and factual comparison with known, documented sales. That process protects the owner and reveals the truth. History gives this coin meaning, but history alone does not give it unimaginable value. The Washington quarter represents American commerce, daily life, and economic continuity, not instant wealth. Its real worth is measured in facts, not emotions or viral stories. In the end, the 1970 D Washington quarter teaches an important lesson. Coins do not change fortunes through myths, they change fortunes through knowledge. Anyone can dream of overnight billions, but only those who understand rarity, condition, and authenticity truly gain power in the world of coins. The greatest value this quarter can offer is not money alone, but wisdom that saves you from costly mistakes and guides you toward real opportunities. Next time, the 1985 D Washington quarter is one of those coins that quietly sits in pockets, jars, and old drawers, ignored by most of the world, yet endlessly imagined as a sleeping giant by collectors. At first glance, it looks ordinary, even forgettable, especially when it is dirty, worn, or darkened by decades of circulation. But coins like this remind us that value is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it hides beneath grime, history, and tiny details that only a careful eye can unlock. The Denver Mint mark on a 1985 quarter tells a story of massive production during a time when the US Mint was focused on quantity, not perfection. Millions were struck, and most were released straight into circulation. Because of this, the average 1985 D quarter is common and carries only face value. However, coin history teaches us something powerful. Value is not created by age alone, but by difference. One small deviation from normal can turn a common coin into a legend. When people speak of unimaginable prices and overnight fortunes, they are usually talking about errors, not standard coins. A 1985 D-quarter with dramatic mint errors such as an off-metal strike, a double denomination, a major misalignment, or an extremely rare die error becomes a completely different object. In such cases, the coin is no longer just a quarter. It becomes a documented accident of history that cannot be repeated. That is where serious money enters the conversation. A dirty condition does not automatically mean low value, and this surprises many beginners. Dirt can hide critical features, and cleaning a coin incorrectly can destroy its worth forever. Professional collectors often prefer untouched, even ugly coins, because originality matters more than shine. If a rare error exists beneath that dirt, aggressive cleaning could erase the very evidence that makes the coin special. Stories of coins selling for hundreds of thousands or even millions do exist in US coin history, but they are never ordinary examples. They are coins with verified, certified, once-in-a-lifetime characteristics. This is why experts always say, never assume, never rush, and never sell based on excitement alone. A coin's true power lies in authentication, documentation, and patience. The psychological pull of the billionaire overnight idea is strong because coins feel small, portable, and magical. Holding one makes people believe destiny could fit in a palm. While that dream should not be mocked, it must be guided by reality. The real fortune is not in hopping blindly, but in learning how to recognize what actually creates value in the numismatic world. For the 1985 D-quarter, the biggest value drivers are condition at the highest uncirculated levels, extreme mint errors, or unusual metal compositions caused by planchette mistakes. Without one of these factors, the coin remains a historical object, not a financial miracle. But with even one verified anomaly, the story changes completely, sometimes dramatically. This is why experienced collectors never say, this coin is worth millions, without proof. They say this coin could be worth something extraordinary if it shows something extraordinary. That difference in language protects fortunes instead of destroying them. Many people have lost money by believing hype instead of evidence. A coin like this should never be sold casually if you believe it may be special. The correct path is slow, careful, and respectful. Professional grading services exist for one reason only, to separate fantasy from fact. Until a coin is examined under magnification and weighed, measured, and compared, its value remains unknown, not guaranteed. What truly changes fortunes in coin collecting is not luck alone, but discipline. The people who succeed are the ones who resist the urge to claim, rush, or boast. They study, they verify, and they wait. Coins reward patience far more than excitement. The Washington Quarter series itself is rich with history, representing American resilience, leadership, and continuity. Even a common date like 1985 D carries that legacy. While most examples will never escape face value, the few that do become artifacts that collectors chase for decades. In the end, the real power of the 1985 D quarter is not that it will automatically make someone rich, but that it might, under very specific, rare conditions, become something extraordinary. That possibility is what fuels the passion of collectors worldwide. Treat the coin with respect, seek knowledge before money, and let facts, not rumors, decide its destiny.